Miles Quesada.
And I'm Hayden Blair.
And welcome back to Small Town TV.
We've got a great lineup of stories today, so let's jump into it.
Our first story covers efforts of a family on the edge of Augusta trying to keep ownership of their land in light of recent expansion attempts by city officials.
Reporter Bree Hayes, videographer Julia Means, and editor Lucian Newcomb have the story. Take it away, guys.
Beginning in the 1870s, the Scully estates have been expanding their land to the 55,666 acres that they have today, leasing land to a multitude of farmers, one of many being the Lynott family.
The lease is a Scully lease. It's owned by people in Chase County that they inherited from their family, and the agreement is that I keep up all of it, and then I run my cattle in it. So I'm sure the city would like to buy it because it butts up to their property, but it's not for sale. I've had it for almost 30 years. The lease was put in place because they had a lot of money and they didn't want their kids to sell their property. They wanted to keep it in their family. And so they have a land manager that takes care of all their land, and they have probably 20,000 acres in Butler County and Chase County. There's some land on the west side of Augusta too, off of Dyke Road. That's the same thing. I have almost 400 acres down there. It's a good deal for all of us, really. I've had it for 30 years. And then the guy that had it before me had it over 30 years too. And then he left me the lease when he passed away.
Beginning the haying in November, the Lynotts wait until July, where they harvest the fields, selling what they need to meet their expenses and allowing the cattle to eat the rest.
There's 160 acres of grassland here with a pond. We usually run 20 cow-calf pairs with a bull, and then we burn it in the spring for land management to get rid of the weeds and the unwanted trees that we don't want. And you hear the horn. The train goes by all day long. Every half hour a train goes by. I'm in charge of taking care of the fence, taking care of the water, clearing the trees, mowing it, anything that pertains to taking care of it.
This is reporter Bree Hayes and editor and videographer Julia Means with Lucian Newcomb for Small Town TV.
What an inspiring story.
Truly. As we move on, many know Augusta High School is home to a variety of teachers, both new and old, although few realize how different the experience can be for those educators each year.
In our next story, reporter Autumn Galgon talks to some of Augusta's faculty to compare and contrast the day-to-day for these new and experienced teachers.
Augusta High School has a fair share of longtime teachers, one being Audra Sheelight, who has been an art teacher for 16 years.
My favorite part of teaching is getting to know the other staff and students. I think Augusta has a really great community. I've learned to enjoy in the assignments that I give and to really try the projects myself. And then when I'm sharing that with students, I have a little bit of idea of what kind of problems they might run into and what is going to make it a little bit more fun or a little bit more interesting. Things are very different because that was 2007, 2008. So phones are different, technology is different, even just student behavior is different. I'm not saying necessarily in a bad way, it's kids are a little bit different. My advice is find joy in what you're teaching and find a way to connect with your students and find a reason to talk to the students and find out like what's going on in their life and just to hear from them and share a little bit about yourself too.
Unlike Sheelight, Nick Franson is a newcomer to our community who has stepped into the role of choir director in the 2022-2023 school year.
So one of the things, I think you're always learning. Culture is key, and so when you are spending the time learning, about the students that you're teaching, you can really develop a good culture. It feels like I've taught here for a long time because education is constantly changing, and I don't know at this point what those changes are going to come to, but we have to learn. We have to adapt, and if you don't adapt and change and learn, then you become kind of obsolete.
This is reporter Autumn Galgon for Small Town TV.
I gotta say, it's really interesting to see how different things are for new teachers.
Yeah, especially compared to the teachers who have been here a while.
Next up, we're very excited to introduce a brand new recurring segment for the show that we're calling Quick Brick.
In this segment, our hosts for this episode, Annabelle Smith and River Bills, take to the halls and get you, our students, involved in brief trivia games and challenges.
Hi, I'm Annabelle.
And I'm River.
Welcome to Quick Break, our new reoccurring segment on Small Town TV that aims to get students and staff involved in our broadcast show.
Each episode, new hosts will take to the halls with games, challenges, and questions for our community.
Hi, I'm Annabelle, and I'm here with Travis Castillo.
My name is River Bills, and I'm here with senior Jacob Wignall.
I'm here with Allie Stevens, and she's a freshman.
I'm here with the school case manager, Shock.
I'm going to ask you a pop culture question. Are you ready?
Sure.
What is Batman's butler's name?
Alfred. Alfred Pennyworth.
Oh, Lord.
Do you want a list?
Yeah.
Okay. A. Baldwin, B. Frederick, or C. Alfred?
Alfred.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alfred.
Yes. Yes.
Good job.
For our next story, reporter Cooper Steuben talks to longtime coach and teacher J.D. Hand about his wrestling career.
He shares with us some of the passion he has for the sport and some of the struggles he's faced throughout the years.
J.D. Hand is a longtime coach and teacher who has helped many wrestlers reach success. Being the assistant coach, Hand has been involved in wrestling for many years, starting when he was just at a young age of 6 years old to now being involved for so long. We asked Hand why he decided to start coaching.
Well, I started coaching initially because I wanted to stay around the sport and continue to stay around competition, and I had been an athlete myself all my life, so there was an opportunity for me to just continue to be competitive and maybe hopefully influence some kids like my coaches had influenced me.
Hand has not only taught his wrestlers how to compete, but also has taught them integrity and grit, something he hopes they'll use down the line.
Knowing that at some point down the road they're going to be hopefully using some of the life lessons that I try to help them learn during the sport, because the time that we spend competing is very, very small compared to the time that we spend doing everything else in our lives. And there are a lot of things that really can be helpful.
Hand will continue to inspire and teach young student athletes on and off the mat to pass on what his coaches taught him. I'm reporter Cooper Steuben, along with videographer Lucian Newcomb and Alex Quesada.
Wow, what an interesting insight on Mr. Hand.
I agree. For our final story, we explore the role first responders play in communities, risking their lives for the safety of others.
Reporter Caleb Nollenberg and videographer Devin Carroll talked to Officer Nick Hatcher about his experiences and what the everyday job looks like.
I'm reporter Caleb Nollenberg here at the Augusta Department of Public Safety, speaking with Nick Hatcher about his experiences throughout his career.
Being an officer has been like a long time dream. Like I've always wanted to be an officer since I was little. There's a movie called RoboCop, like the actual first one, the one that came out like, I think it came out like the 80s or something. I wasn't even born yet. But anyway, seeing that movie is what really like gave me the idea, or like the feeling of wanting to be an officer. And then just the fact that I like to help people as well. So it's honestly, like, to me anyway, this is like the best job in the world to have. So yeah, so far I like everything about the job. I like getting out, getting into the community, interacting with kids, adults. Favorite memories? Working the Bugs Bunny Club down at the theater. That was pretty cool, pretty fun. Working some of the high school games. I mean, there's been some calls that's been kind of like interesting. I can't really go too much into detail, but it definitely has made the job worthwhile. So with me being the first African American here, I feel like that gives other kids and other minorities hope that this is something that they can do as well when they get older. This job, you really gotta be somewhat of like a people person. Can't be afraid to get out there and talk to people. Very important to be proactive, driving around, getting out there, interacting with the community. Like that's very important. Not stressful. Like I put a lot on myself just because, one, I want to do my job like correctly, but at the same time I want to make sure I'm setting good examples for like kids growing up that's possibly wanting to do this job. pursue this career.
This is reporter Caleb Nollenberg and videographer Devin Carroll for Small Town TV.
And with that, this episode of Small Town TV comes to a close.
What a great lineup of stories.
Yeah, we'll see you all next month with another episode.
And thank you for watching Small Town TV.